Coleman snaps a shot. Bussi makes the save.
That's a huge save right there on a clear-cut 2-on-1.
There's a chance it's put on the tape here for Renato. Second attempt at Bussi again. Oh, dear Bussi.
Oh, boy. What a snare. Keep this thing 0-0.
Now Kadri trying to skate away from Svechnikov. He does. Kadri into the Kane zone. Twisting, turning, has it stolen by Blake. Blake, he'll drop it back. Svechnikov, he'll hold on and he'll allow Miller to change. Now it's Ehlers with it. Ehlers gets it across and he scores! In overtime, Nikolaj Ehlers with the game winner from Taylor Hall. What a setup, and the extra point goes to Carolina.
Yeah, the extra point is good. Hi, everyone. It is the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold, right here, live on YouTube, as we do it after every Hurricanes game. If you are new to the process, we chat about the game for, 30 minutes. Who knows how long? Maybe we go a little bit longer, maybe we go a little bit shorter. There's only one goal in the game today, so we don't have to spend a lot of time going through that. But we do have some things to discuss, and we'll do that. We are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna's crew do a great job. You should check them out for all of your exterior home improvement needs. All right, let's first of all just be thankful that the Hurricanes won this game today because it wasn't too pretty all night. Not too pretty. Carolina did not bring their offensive boots today. Carolina just played a low-event game. Looked like maybe a weekend of leftovers. Not that that's the reason. I'm just saying, like, if you or I were sitting around eating green bean casserole out of the container for the last couple of days, maybe that's how it would look. So maybe that's what happened. Probably not, but, man, this was just a dreadful offensive game tonight against the Calgary Flames. But, look, Calgary came in hoping to keep this game low scoring, and I said before the game, and anybody who wanted to hear me, yeah, the Flames have the second worst record in the league. Only Nashville is worse. And by the way, Calgary will play Nashville next as they wrap up. I think this was the third game of a 5-game trip. Yeah, I think they were third game of a 4-game, or whatever it is. Yeah, they play Nashville next, I believe. But the Flames, they don't score a ton of goals. I think Blake Coleman leads them in goals with 8. But they also don't give up a ton. When you're talking about the second worst team in the league in terms of record, now 9-14-3, I believe. For a team at the bottom of the standings, they don't give up a lot of goals. They are basically at 3 goals allowed per game. So they have been in just about every game. And I made this point. They're minus 16, now minus 17 on the year. But most of that is late. They've lost the only overtime game they've played. So they're minus 1. Actually, they've played in, 4 or 5 overtimes. It's now 6 overtimes. This is only the second one that ended in overtime. They have 4 shootouts this year, Calgary. And we'll talk about the overtime in a second. But the Flames have been basically in every game, for the most part, through 40 minutes. It's the third period that has been a problem for them. Now, I'm not sure the third period wasn't their best period tonight. I thought they had the better scoring chances, at least through the bulk of the period. I thought they had the better scoring chances in the third. Yeah, I mean, Morgan Frost in transition. Matt Coronado again on a breakaway. The first breakaway hit the inside of the post. This breakaway, Bussi was able to snag with the glove. I just thought Calgary was closer to scoring a goal than Carolina was for much of the third. Jackson Blake did have a great scoring chance right between the hash marks and missed the net. Stalled to Martinook in front, couldn't go. And then we get to overtime, and Carolina played the overtime properly. Jordan Staal wins the faceoff. He gets off. I think Sean Walker joined him. And then it was Miller, Aho, and Jarvis. Jarvis had 2 decent scoring chances. I would argue that both shots were ill-advised because in the overtime, the number one job is possession of the puck, and your scoring chances need to be elite to give up possession of the puck. It's a style that will generate, grade AAA scoring chances if you are patient. And I thought Seth maybe was a little bit too anxious. Anyway, every time Carolina lost possession, they won it back. Good defensive plays. Shayne Gostisbehere made a good defensive play to knock, I think it might have been Kadri off the puck in the overtime. Aho lost the faceoff and won the puck back. They were just really good. Andrei Svechnikov won a wall battle and got the puck back in the overtime. And they were just like, this is the way you're supposed to play it. And then when you don't have anything, by all means, man, skate it out of the zone, reset and come in with some speed. And that's ultimately what they did. Ehlers to Hall and then back to Ehlers in really a gorgeous give and go. And honestly, if you watch the play, it's the way Ehlers scores the goal. He's almost behind the goal line, it looks like. And he's having his legs taken out from under him by a defensive play. There's no penalty there or anything for me. But it was just made that much more difficult. And maybe it was going to take a goal like that the way Calgary was playing. They were sitting back a little bit, but just a great goal, great way to end the game as Carolina wins it 1-0 in overtime. All right. Let's talk about Brandon Bussi, who gets his 2nd straight start, his 8th start of the season. And he makes 15 saves in the win. We talked about it. There were breakaways that he stopped, odd man chances. Like, there weren't too many just middling scoring chances for the Flames today. It seemed like when they had an opportunity, it was a juicy one. And Brandon Bussi just played really, really well again. I mean, it doesn't have to be spectacular. You don't have to do what he did against Kyle Connor in the game against Winnipeg on Friday. You don't have to deny him like sprawling with your leg back behind you. You could just be solid, and that's what he was today. Great economy of movement. The only problems I ever have really with Brandon Bussi is he's not great at playing the puck. So sometimes, just stay in your crease, man. Just let Carolina's defense handle it. We're going to talk about Carolina's defense as well here in a couple of minutes. But Bussi just was solid. So now this is 6 wins in 7 starts. And I've said this, I'm not entirely sure that the best performance from him wasn't in the loss. Like, 2 of the 3 goals were own goals past him. So, I mean, the Dallas Stars, who are obviously one of the elite teams in the sport, I mean, they're the only team to beat him, and they needed Hurricanes' own goals to do it. But Bussi is now 7-1-0, and I don't know what the goals against average and the save percentage is in terms of, the overall number. My guess is goals against average is somewhere around 2.2, which is obviously very good. Save percentage is probably just a little bit north of 900 right now, probably 903, 904, maybe. Only faced 15 shots tonight and turned them all aside. But what I really want to focus on is something that Rod Brindamore talks about all the time, which is true. You're going to give up goals. And we say this about Pyotr Kochetkov and Freddie Anderson all the time. You're going to give up goals. You want to minimize the bad goals, obviously. But ultimately, every sport, every game comes down to a moment. And what do you do in those moments? I saw something on Twitter. I'm going to finish the thought on Bussi in a second, but as an aside, just a quick anecdote. Roger Federer was giving, I think, a commencement address or just giving a talk to a university. Not even sure where it was. It might have been in the U.S., might have been in Switzerland. And he basically asked it's not really a quiz question. It's a rhetorical question about what percentage of points in his career did Roger Federer win? For my money, the greatest player ever played. Doesn't matter. We're not having that debate here. What percentage of total points did Roger Federer win in his career? And the answer was 54%. So basically, he lost every other point. And yet, you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that ever played the game better than him. How is that? And the answer is, what do you do in those moments? I talk about it a ton because I absolutely believe it. In every game, in every sport, there is a moment that sends the game one way or the other. On Friday, Bussi makes the save on Connor in a 1-1 hockey game. It was a shorthanded save, right? It was Carolina's on the power play. Connor's coming in. Glorious opportunity, one of the best goal scorers in the world, and Bussi denies him. Moment. And today, there were probably 5 moments for Bussi. So many. In a scoreless hockey game, you can't afford to give up one. And I thought, maybe I was just being pessimistic Canes fan, but throughout the third period, as Carolina was just wandering in the offensive desert, every single time it seemed that Calgary was mounting some sort of an attack, and there weren't a ton of them. I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be a hard way to lose a game like this. But Bussi just came up with the goods every time. And it wasn't about, being anti-Brandon Bussi. It was simply, man, a goal's going to go in a weird way. It's going to hit somebody in the knee. It's going to be a bounce off of one of the stanchions, and it's going to come right out in front. Something weird is going to happen. Going to go off a Carolina skate. But we didn't have that. And all we had really was Brandon Bussi coming up with the goods when he had to. It's impressive. So, by the way, and I thought this is interesting, and I did the math yesterday because my impression was that Bussi had been playing his best hockey in the third period. So I went back and I looked at it. And while his overall save percentage going into tonight was .899, his overall save percentage in third periods this season, and before today he had 7 of them, was .909. So 10 points higher in the third period than the overall. And if you think about it, probably 12 points higher in the third period than it was in the first 2 periods. It's, just under 90%, but 909 in third periods. Well, after going 5 for 5 in the third period tonight, his third period save percentage is now at .918. Coming up with the big save when they need it. Trip Tracy and I talked about Bussi in the pregame. Now, we all have to understand that goaltending is fickle, and it's very possible, we talked about it last podcast, it's very possible that, Brandon Bussi will at one point turn back into a pumpkin. But maybe he won't. Like, no joke, maybe he won't. Maybe Brandon Bussi is this for a good long run. Who knows? And what Tripp said, and I think it's the best way of putting it, not going to pigeonhole him. Not going to put a ceiling on it because you just don't know. So what do you do? you ride it. You ride the bus out. Does that mean he starts on Thursday? Maybe not. Maybe that's Freddie Anderson's start against the Leafs on Thursday. But I will tell you this. What happened tonight at Lenovo Center has to make Rod Brind'Amour think about, go again? And then Anderson, because you play Saturday and Sunday back-to-back, does Anderson get the Saturday game? Bussi get the Sunday game? Because at this point, don't you want to maximize your Brandon Bussi opportunities? Now, there's 4 games left on the homestand. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. My guess is they're going to split them even, 2-2. You decide which 2 you want Bussi to play and which 2 you want Freddie to play. Right now, Anderson doesn't give you the better chance to win. Right now. Again, who knows what happens a month from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 months from now? We have no clue. But the way Bussi is playing, the way the team is playing in front of him defensively, it's certainly worth exploring letting Bussi get the majority of the work. The way he's playing, it doesn't look too big for him. He's got a great attitude. Obviously, the guys love him. So maybe it's an opportunity. Maybe we just keep writing another chapter into one of the best stories of the year. Let's remember, he had never played in an NHL game before the game in San Jose. 3rd game of the season. Brandon Bussi had never played in an NHL game before. And he wouldn't have had Pyotr Kochetkov started the season healthy. But because he didn't, Carolina needed a goalie. Brandon Bussi played 3 times on that 6-game road trip and played really well. Played well there, played well in LA, played well in Dallas. And it's just kind of kept going. So he got the Winnipeg Jets twice. Winnipeg, one of the best teams in the West. And Bussi got him both times. So if you're the Hurricanes, it's worth exploring just to kind of keep going with Brandon Bussi and just see where it takes you. And maybe at the very least, maybe it just buys you time for Kochetkov to come back, or it buys you time for Anderson to rediscover, what he is. And we don't know what he is anymore because he's obviously an older goalie. And he wasn't awesome last year, but he also wasn't as mediocre as he is this year. And maybe this is the natural backslide when you are a goaltender into your later mid-30s, as Anderson is. All right, let's talk about the way the Hurricanes played the overtime, which I liked, although I think we probably did refer to it already. Carolina starts the overtime the same way. They start with Stahl, Miller, and Walker. Rod Brind'Amour, if you lose the faceoff, he wants a defensive unit out there. I get it. And if you win the faceoff, this is what 3-on-3 allows you. If you win the faceoff, Stahl goes to the bench, Aho jumps over the boards. And in this case, Walker goes to the bench, and Jarvis comes over. So now the Hurricanes have Miller with Aho and Jarvis. They had the puck for about a minute and a half. It looked okay. Excuse me. Jarvis had 2 scoring chances, which I didn't love, but 2 chances. Then Blake and Svechnikov are out next. They didn't do a ton, but every time Carolina lost the puck, they got it back. And that was the best thing I saw in overtime. And then, of course, Ehlers to Hall, back to Ehlers, and just a strange way to score the game winner. There's a lot of physical play there, and Ehlers got it underneath Devin Cooley, who's a very good young goaltender, by the way. Got it underneath Devin Cooley, and Carolina wins it 1-0. One of the best things we see on a nightly basis is Shayne Gostisbehere. And he made 3 excellent defensive plays.
Now a chance break in coming in for Huberdeau, and what a defensive play by Shayne Gostisbehere.
After he turned the puck over, fanning on a shot, Gostisbehere made 2 great plays. He knocked a pass out of midair in the neutral zone, and then gets back what would have been a breakaway and avoids a tripping call in the process.
Hanley's shot. Gostisbehere loses his stick, goes to a knee, and properly plays that with his hand up for Carrier, who can clear.
I mean, for all of Shayne Gostisbehere's offensive prowess, and he's still better than a point a game so far this year from the blue line. And it hasn't been a great power play. Like last year, he was all power play points. This year, I mean, while he's got power play points, I mean, obviously Carolina's power play's only got, 10 goals. So it's not like he is racking up power play points left and right. But he has been incredible. He's now played 10 games since coming back from the second injury, and he's got 11 points in the 10 games. Nothing today, but he was excellent. Excellent. By the way, bounce back game for Jalen Chatfield, who I think had struggled the last couple, but I thought Jalen was very good today. Also very good today, and I want to talk about it. The rookie pair, Alexander Nikishin and Joel Nyström. Nyström didn't play a ton, but Nyström just makes so many smart plays with the puck. He got a puck up to Taylor Hall for a scoring chance. But that first Blake Coleman 2-on-1 with Nikishin deep into the offensive zone, so he was caught out of position. Nyström's the only one back, and he decides, I'm taking the pass away. So he left Coleman to Bussi, and Coleman couldn't beat Carolina's goaltender. But just a smart play. You can't do both. I know everybody wants to be Jacob Slavin. Slavin can do both. Slavin can take away the shot and the pass because, he's a witch. But they don't have any other Slavins. So what they want you to do, take away the pass. Leave the shooter to the goalie and go on. And Nyström did that. He actually made 2 really good plays, like desperation defending. He was patient a couple of times to kind of ride the play out behind the net and just eliminate scoring chances. He's been really, really good. Walt Ruff has a piece coming up in just a couple of days. And he told me this in the intermission. And I'll just paraphrase it because I don't want to usurp Walt Ruff's story. So go check it out at hurricanes.com. You should check it out all the time, but check it out. Because Gleason, who runs Carolina's blue line, didn't know a ton about Nyström. Nyström only played 7 games in North America last year, all late in the season into did the Wolves make the playoffs? It might have been the first round of the playoffs for the Wolves. I think it was. They didn't advance, but he played 7 games in North America. Like, they just assumed that he would need a full season playing in the American Hockey League. And who knows, they didn't really know that he was an NHL player. Right? I remember him from training camp a year ago, and he was good. And he had a good year in Sweden before coming over for good. But, and I've said this before, I thought Nyström was one of Carolina's best players, best defensive defenders in preseason. And by necessity, Carolina's needed him. And Gleason basically says it's to the point where you don't want to take him out of the lineup. And that's pretty high praise from Tim Gleason. It's not easy to play defense for the Hurricanes. It just isn't. Miller is still kind of feeling his way through it, getting by on talent. And I thought he played very well tonight. But he still makes some poor reads. And Nyström does too. They all do. Nikishin that's, one of the things that they're constantly working with Alexander on is, better reads, gapping up, all of that. But specifically, Gleason talked about Nystrom's gap control. He's just not out of position. He knows where he's supposed to be, and he makes it look effortless, and that's really cool. And those two guys played together tonight, and I thought they were both very, very good. Very quickly, final thing, we'll wrap up here. But Nikishin, to me, he's still going to get better defensively. He doesn't gap up as well. Sometimes he gets caught in too deep, and that's okay. He is hunting offense, and honestly, Carolina needed somebody to hunt offense today. Could have had a few goals. Probably had 3 really good scoring opportunities. One he did on his own, one, and then there were 2 other passes across that he could have finished and didn't. But I think he is playing so much better, and he got power play time today. This is my biggest criticism of him offensively is knowing when to pull the trigger on your shot. And he has opportunities to shoot the puck and passes them up. You don't have to defer, man. Let it fly. The goal you scored to make it 5-1 against the Jets, yeah, the game was over. I get it. But that shot is why you should shoot more, not less. And while he is getting his shots on goal, I just as soon see more of those because, A, you're going to score on a few of those, but you're going to get traffic, you're going to get deflections, you're going to get rebounds. And, man, let it rip. If you're going to get power play time too, let it rip. Don't hesitate. Carolina today in the second half of the first power play and pretty much for all of the 4-on-4, they just passed the puck around. Carolina's one power play, and we'll wrap it up here. They lost both faceoffs. Aho lost the first one. Stankoven lost the second one. Yet they had the puck, and they did not attempt a shot. Just passed. Pass. Somebody. Just somebody. Like, I don't want to sit here in the press box and scream shoot because I think that's lame. But shoot. Shoot. Please shoot. All right, we'll jump out here. Sorry about that. I am Adam Gold. This has been the Canes Corner podcast live on YouTube. We are always here after every Hurricanes game. Although Thursday, I'm traveling. Dennis Cox will do the game. I will not be able to do the do the podcast because I will not have had the ability to watch the game on Thursday. So we'll hit you up. We had 2 on the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, I will do, but we will not have a podcast on Thursday. So thanks to you, YouTube, Canes Corner podcast, and then, of course, the next day, wherever you get your podcasts. I am Adam Gold, Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com. They do amazing work, so go check them out, aluminumcompany.com. Until the weekend, happy Thanksgiving, happy Black Friday, happy Cyber Monday.